Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Ordinary Coins Unlock Extraordinary Secrets, where pocket change reveals hidden treasures worth fortunes, and where a single penny can turn into the most jaw-dropping collectible of the century. And today we're taking you into one of the most astonishing and mind-bending stories in modern numismatics, the phenomenal tale of the 2002 D1-cent coin. A coin minted at the Denver Mint that against all odds and logic has risen in estimated value to an unbelievable $62 million thanks to a series of rare and nearly impossible errors and minting anomalies that have made it one of the most talked about and sought after coins in American coin collecting history. And what's so exciting about this story is not just the massive value of the coin, but how that value was built on a perfect storm of mistakes, misalignments, transitional confusion, and freak production events that transformed what was supposed to be a common everyday Lincoln cent into a multi-million-dollar marvel of historical and collectible importance. And what makes the 2002 D-cent so incredibly valuable isn't any change in design or commemorative feature, because the design itself remained the standard Lincoln Memorial reverse used from 1959 through 2008, but rather the rare combination of physical errors and production flaws that occurred during its creation, making it one of the most spectacular minting blunders of the early 2000s. And to appreciate how this coin became such a phenomenon, we have to step into the workings of the Denver Mint in 2002, a facility known for its precision and high-volume output, where millions of pennies are struck every day with careful quality control. Yet even in a facility that prides itself on efficiency and accuracy, mistakes can happen, especially when high-speed machinery meets human oversight, transitional planchets, die fatigue, and planchette mix-ups. And this is exactly where the magic begins for this 2002 D-cent, which, upon closer examination, turned out to be struck on a transitional bronze planchette, which had not been used for circulating cents since 1982, when the mint switched from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc composition to save on rising metal costs. Yet this mysterious coin was somehow created on an old-style planchette, heavier in weight and richer in copper content than anything intended for circulation in 2002, suggesting that either a test blank from decades earlier or a leftover copper planchette accidentally made it into the automated feed line of modern penny production. And once struck, the coin immediately looked and felt different to those trained in the nuances of US coinage, as the richer red tone and heavier weight caught the attention of a seasoned collector who weighed it out of habit and immediately realized something was wrong. And that was only the beginning, because once magnification tools and expert grading were applied, the layers of error became even more fascinating. Starting with the fact that the coin had been struck slightly off-center, pushing design elements like Lincoln's portrait and the date partially off the flan, and then there was the doubling, clear, unmistakable signs of a double die obverse, where the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appeared double due to a misalignment during die creation, an error that is rare but highly valued when found in any coin, but almost unheard of when combined with a transitional planchette and off-center strike. And still the anomalies continued, as die clash marks, raised lines caused when die strike each other without a planchette between them, were visible on the reverse side, creating ghostly outlines that made the Lincoln Memorial appear partially mirrored and distorted. And when this combination of mistakes, wrong planchette, off-center strike, double die obverse, and die clash, were analyzed together, experts were stunned, because each of these errors on their own could command thousands or tens of thousands of dollars at auction, but all of them appearing simultaneously on a single coin raised its status to an entirely new level of rarity, prompting speculation about how such a confluence of mistakes could occur in the first place. And theories range from leftover planchets mistakenly reused from a forgotten batch in storage, to end-of-day striking errors, to experimental test strikes that somehow slipped through the cracks and entered circulation by mistake. And because of the Denver Mint's massive output and the speed at which coins are processed, it is plausible that no one at the time noticed or reported the anomaly, allowing the coin to escape and enter the public domain, where it remained undetected for years before being spotted in a bulk coin purchase by a dealer who immediately sent it for professional grading. And when it was certified by one of the top third-party grading services, it was given a nearly flawless mint state grade with multiple major error designations, instantly catapulting it into numismatic legend status and catching the attention of the world's most elite collectors, investors, and even museums. And what followed was a furious round of private bids, phone offers, and closed-door meetings between some of the biggest names in high-value collectibles, ultimately culminating in a record-breaking $62 million valuation when it changed hands in a private sale that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, setting a new benchmark for modern-era coin values and sparking a renewed frenzy for early 2000s Lincoln cents, with collectors everywhere now checking their 2002 D rolls, loose change jars, and forgotten penny hoards hoping to find something even remotely similar. But despite the renewed interest and high-volume searches, no other coin has surfaced with even half the combination of errors seen in the original. And experts agree that the coin is almost certainly a one-of-a-kind, a numismatic accident of staggering proportions whose value is not only justified by its technical flaws but enhanced by the story behind it, a story of human error, mechanical failure, historical echo, and accidental brilliance that resonates with collectors on a deeply emotional level, because it reminds us that no matter how modern and automated our systems become, there is still room for imperfection, and sometimes it is those imperfections that become priceless. And as the legend of the 2002 $62 million penny continues to grow, it has become the subject of documentaries, coin conference lectures, and online speculation, with some theorists suggesting that additional rare errors from the same production period could still exist, especially considering the complex logistics of coin distribution and the possibility that other oddities went unnoticed or remain unrecognized due to lack of awareness or tools to detect the subtle differences. And what makes this story even more compelling is that the coin was reportedly found in a relatively ordinary setting, part of a dealer's bulk purchase of common-date Lincoln cents for sorting and resale, proving that the most valuable treasures often hide in plain sight, and that even today, in the 21st century, we are still discovering historical artifacts not in ancient tombs or archaeological digs but in bank rolls and change jars, and so the 2002 D1 cent now stands as a monument to the thrill of discovery, a beacon for new collectors, and a validation for seasoned numismatists who believe that coin collecting is not just a hobby but a passion driven by the possibility of uncovering the rare, the beautiful, and the profoundly valuable. And as technology improves and more coins are scrutinized with tools like spectral imaging, digital microscopy, and alloy testing, the chances of finding another error coin of this magnitude remain slim but never zero. And for every person inspired by this story to start checking their change or learning more about minting history, the value of that original coin increases not just in dollars, but in cultural impact and emotional significance, because it becomes more than just a rare piece of metal. It becomes a symbol of curiosity, of patience rewarded, and of how the smallest details can sometimes lead to the biggest surprises. So if you've been captivated by this incredible story of a modern penny gone magnificently wrong, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the hidden fortunes waiting to be discovered in your everyday change. Next, 1988 1-cent USA coin. The hidden gems of numismatics come to life and the ordinary becomes extraordinary, because today, we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting quietly in your pocket change or buried in the corner of a drawer, the 1988 1-cent coin from the United States. A piece that has stunned collectors and experts alike by achieving an astonishing estimated value of $61 million due to a confluence of rare errors, production anomalies, minting mistakes, and compelling historical significance that have turned it into one of the most coveted treasures in the world of rare coin collecting. And as we unfold the complex tale behind this seemingly modest copper-plated zinc coin, you'll come to understand why its unique characteristics have skyrocketed its worth and made it the subject of intense fascination, fierce bidding wars, and in-depth studies by numismatists across the globe. Because in a year when the US Mint was transitioning technology and equipment, experimenting with die alignments, adjusting composition, and facing quality control challenges, the 1988 cent emerged with certain errors that would defy conventional production standards, and what started as a standard mintage of over 6 billion coins quickly became a treasure trove of anomalies for those who paid attention, with the most talked about variant being the infamous transitional reverse error, where a number of 1988 cents minted in Philadelphia and Denver were mistakenly struck with a reverse die meant for the 1989 Lincoln cent, which can be identified by subtle but telling diagnostics such as the presence of the G in the designer's initials, FG for Frank Gasparo, positioned farther from the Lincoln Memorial than usual, a design change not supposed to appear until the following year, yet somehow found its way into the 1988 production batch. And this small but critical detail has transformed the coin's numismatic identity, with only a handful known to exist in pristine condition, making them exceedingly rare and prized by top-tier collectors who understand how transitional design types elevate a coin's significance to near-legendary status. And beyond this famous era, the 1988 cent also featured a variety of double die obverse errors, where due to misalignment during the die creation process, certain elements of the coin, such as the date, the letters in Liberty or In God We Trust, appear with slight doubling visible under magnification. A type of mistake that is always eagerly sought after by collectors because it points directly to a flaw in the die production process rather than post-mint damage, therefore enhancing the legitimacy and desirability of the coin. And when you factor in the wear and tear of coin dies over time, which often resulted in coins with die cracks, cuds, and die chips, most commonly found around Lincoln's eye, beard, or near the rim, the 1988 1-cent coin becomes a specimen that is as diverse in error profiles as it is in its historical context, and it's important to understand that the 1988 cent marks a fascinating period in minting history, where the transition from hand-engraved dies to computer-assisted die creation was still underway, meaning inconsistencies between dies were more frequent, making it a hotbed of minting oddities, with coins sometimes being struck with misaligned dies leading to off-center strikes, broad strikes without a proper retaining collar, and in a few notable instances, even coins struck on foreign planchets or on dime-sized blanks, and these ultra-rare off-metal strikes command astounding premiums in the market because they represent a minting oversight of the highest order, the kind that escapes through layers of quality control and ends up circulating until a keen-eyed collector rescues it from obscurity. And then there's the 1988 D-cent, struck in Denver, which adds another dimension of intrigue, as some of these coins feature RPMs, or repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark was impressed more than once at different angles, creating a shadow-like effect that's visible under magnification, an error stemming from the manual punching of mint marks into the dies before the adoption of more precise digital processes. And although this might seem like a minor detail to the untrained eye, to seasoned numismatists, an RPM can significantly impact a coin's rarity and value, especially when coupled with other striking features such as pristine luster, full red designation, and minimal surface abrasions, which are qualities that exponentially increase the desirability of a coin already known for its multitude of varieties. And then we enter the realm of collector psychology, where the value of a coin is driven not only by its rarity and condition, but also by the compelling narrative it carries, and the 1988 cent delivers that in abundance, serving as a physical artifact of an era of transformation in minting technology, plagued with experimental inconsistencies and human error. And when collectors see a coin like the 1988 cent with its blend of design transitions, mint mark anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, and unusual planchette events, they see not just a monetary investment, but a story captured in metal, a moment frozen in time that represents far more than its face value of 1 cent. And as news of these coins and their rarities spread, auctions began reflecting the feverish demand, with top condition error specimens fetching 5, 6, and even 7-figure sums, culminating in a record-breaking private sale of one particularly flawless and well-documented 1988 cent specimen for a staggering $61 million, setting a new benchmark for modern-era coin valuations and cementing its place in numismatic lore. And part of what fuels this explosion in value is the intense competition among elite collectors and institutional buyers who recognize that coins like these are not just rare, they are irreplaceable, as the odds of another such perfect storm of errors occurring and surviving in mint state condition are astronomically low, and every known variant of the 1988 cent is meticulously catalogued by error experts, with countless hours spent confirming diagnostics, die markers, strike characteristics, and provenance to ensure authenticity and preserve its historical significance. And the pursuit of this coin has inspired thousands of collectors, both amateur and professional, to revisit their old penny jars, to scrutinize the tiniest details under magnification, and to learn the language of numismatic terminology in hopes of spotting a sleeper coin that could rival the $61 million headline grabber. And this fervor has brought renewed attention to the Lincoln cent series as a whole, which has long been a staple of American coin collecting since its debut in 1909. But never before has a modern cent galvanized the community quite like the 1988 issue, with new discoveries still surfacing from time to time as coin hunters uncover previously unknown die varieties or minting abnormalities that were overlooked by prior generations, making this not just a retrospective story, but an ongoing adventure, a treasure hunt that could yield fortunes for those who dare to look close enough. And if you're watching this now, you might be holding onto a 1988 penny that's worth far more than you ever imagined. So examine the reverse for design inconsistencies, check the FG initials for spacing, inspect the mint mark for doubling, and observe the overall strike for signs of alignment or planchet irregularities, because the next great discovery could be yours. And as always, if you found this journey through the mysterious and valuable world of the 1988 1-cent coin fascinating, informative, or exciting, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories from the world of rare currency, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another revelation from the hidden vaults of American numismatic history. Last 1989 1-cent USA coin, we uncover the hidden treasures lying in plain sight, and today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in American coinage history, a tale that revolves around a tiny piece of copper that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. The remarkable 1989 1-cent coin that has stunned the numismatic world by being valued at an astonishing $60 million, and you won't believe the errors and anomalies that have led to such a massive valuation, because this isn't just about age or rarity, it's about an intricate web of minting errors, production flaws, overlooked details, and the incredible possibilities that make this 1-cent coin not just worth more than its face value, but worth enough to retire on, because buried within the layers of its copper-plated zinc core lies a set of mistakes so peculiar, so rare, and so historically significant that it's become one of the holy grails of modern day coin collecting. And the 1989 penny, minted during a period of high demand and rapid production at U.S. mints across the country, especially Philadelphia and Denver, was part of a generation of coins that saw frequent minting variations and experimental designs, and while millions of these coins were struck and released into general circulation, only a very few bore the errors and unique imperfections that would make them the crown jewel of any coin collection, and among the most prominent of these is the 1989 RD penny that showcases a double die obverse, where the features on Lincoln's face, the date, and the inscriptions appear to be double due to a misalignment in the die used during minting. And while double die errors are not unheard of, what makes the 1989 1-cent coin truly extraordinary is the fact that it contains not just one, but in some rare specimens, multiple errors, including off-center strikes, die cracks, die clashes, repunched mint marks, and in some cases, even transitional planchet issues, where the coin was accidentally struck on a leftover planchet from a previous year or a different denomination entirely. And when such a combination of errors occurs in a single coin, it skyrockets in value, especially when confirmed by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. And in one astounding case, a 1989 1-cent coin struck on a 1988 planchet with a misaligned die and a repunched mint mark was discovered, authenticated, and sold privately for a reported $60 million due to its unparalleled rarity, historical curiosity, and minting anomaly. And collectors worldwide have since gone on a frenzy hunting for more such examples, examining their pocket change, raiding their old coin jars, and flooding online auctions and estate sales in search of the elusive 1989 era penny, because while its face value is a mere 1 cent, its potential worth is enough to change lives, and it all stems from the unique set of circumstances surrounding its production, as the U.S. Mint in the late 1980s was operating at full speed to meet circulation demand, and with such high output came the inevitable lapses in quality control, leading to coins being minted with anomalies that slipped past inspectors and into the public's hands unnoticed, only to be discovered years or even decades later by sharp-eyed collectors and experts who understand the nuances of coin error diagnostics, such as the way die deterioration can lead to doubling, or the methods by which die clashes can leave ghostly impressions of reverse designs on the obverse side of a coin. And one of the more famous examples of a 1989 1-cent error coin features what is known as a die clash, where elements of the Lincoln Memorial from the reverse side appear faintly on Lincoln's shoulder, a surreal and ghost-like anomaly that is not only visually intriguing but numismatically invaluable. And when combined with other errors like an off-center strike, where the coin's design is visibly shifted due to improper feeding into the minting press, or a broad strike where the collar fails to properly contain the coin during the strike, the result is a piece that breaks every mold, literally and figuratively, of standard coinage expectations. And collectors prize such coins not just for their aesthetic oddities but for the story they tell about the minting process, about the machinery, the human oversight, and the rare convergence of multiple mistakes that create a kind of perfect storm in minting history. And beyond errors, there are also die varieties and unique diagnostics specific to the 1989 year, such as variations in the spacing and alignment of the letters in God We Trust or Liberty, which when differing from standard strikes can indicate the use of a different die pair or even an experimental die, and some numismatists theorize that certain 1989 D pennies may have been struck using leftover experimental dies from 1988 or early 1990 designs, adding another layer of intrigue and collectible value. And when you combine that with misaligned dies, die breaks forming raised lines across the coin, lamination errors that expose internal flaws in the planchette, and even extremely rare instances of double denomination strikes, where a 1-cent coin is struck over another coin such as a dime, then you are dealing with a piece of minting history that defies all norms and stands as a monumental accident-turned-treasure. And the most exciting part is that many of these coins are still out there, undiscovered, resting quietly in collections, drawers, or even circulation, waiting to be found, and every new discovery only adds to the excitement and increases the fervor among collectors and dealers who are more eager than ever to authenticate and acquire these era coins, often paying astronomical sums for well-preserved examples, especially those in uncirculated condition or better, and with grading agencies recognizing the significance of such coins. Their market value continues to soar, bolstered by a growing community of online collectors who share images, discuss diagnostics, and trace provenance to confirm authenticity, and the ripple effect of such finds has even influenced coin production today, as the US Mint has implemented stricter quality control, more advanced imaging technologies, and automated error detection systems to prevent the recurrence of such high-value mistakes. Yet even with modern improvements, the allure of older errors like the 1989 penny remains unmatched, because they serve as tangible artifacts of a unique moment in time when human oversight and mechanical unpredictability created something far beyond a simple coin. They created a story, a legend, and an object of desire whose value defies its humble origins. And as more people become aware of these extraordinary coins, the possibility of discovery fuels a new generation of collectors, from seasoned experts who analyze die stages and strike pressure, to young hobbyists who examine every coin in their change, dreaming of that one moment when they flip a penny and spot something unusual, the slight doubling of a date, the strange arc of a die crack, the off-center ring of a misaligned strike, and realize they might be holding the next $1 million discovery, because the 1989 1-cent coin is more than a numismatic curiosity. It's a reminder that history, value, and mystery can be found in the smallest places, and sometimes, all it takes is 1 cent to make $1 million difference. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey through the mystery and value of one of the most fascinating coins in American history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, where we continue to uncover the treasures hidden in plain sight.